Hey, how's it going? Got a little bit of a showcase video here for you. Cyberpunk 2077. Started a new playthrough. I've been playing it again. Probably top 5, easily top 3 most favorite games. I mean, every time I get in it, it just pulls me in. Artistically, game-wise, it is beautiful. This is amazing. Not only is the gameplay fun, not only is the game itself fun, the story is good. The characters are well animated, and just everything about it is presented really well. I mean, obviously, there's still some bugs and stuff here and there. You know, some of the more funnier bugs that I've had, I wasn't able to really record them, but I do have this screenshot of Jackie going full pacifist run. He did that the entire mission. It was very strange. But I've had a lot of fun. I got some gameplay. I got like 2 hours of gameplay. Decided to record most of my session. Ended up getting on the game a little later than I usually do. Started playing it around like 1:30 in the morning. Played till like 2-ish, 2:30. I had a lot of fun. I just been chilling. It's one of those games that I've just got on and I play. I know some people like PvP, you know, specific types of games. Some people don't like playing specific types of games. I'm the type of gamer that will basically play anything for the most part, and I can look past gameplay and, you know, just appreciate a game for its artistic ability. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to play a game just because it's got nothing, you know, it's nothing but artistically amazing. You know, obviously I still have types of games that I play. I'm not a huge everything person, which is completely contradictory to what I just said. But, you know, for the most part, I could appreciate a game for more than just its face value. I feel like for the most part, I could really get into a game and be like, wow, this is just amazing. And Cyberpunk is one of those games that really blows me away. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick ramble here. I'm gonna have some cuts interspersed here and there. Maybe I'll talk some more, but I don't want to talk too long, blabber your ear off, make it too boring. So yeah, I hope you enjoy some of my Cyberpunk gameplay that I've recorded last night. The game is really enjoyable, and I've just been having a lot of fun playing it again. Enjoy.
I've always been fond of trains, and the stations where so many tracks converge.
Junctions.
Yes, those. When you see them from above, you feel
Free. Like you could set off on 1,000 journeys all at once.
perhaps more simply hopeful. Okay, here we are. Carol! What are we looking for?
Hey, told you I'd be here again. I'm setting up for a nice little still here. I thought this was a really good, like, you know, picturesque, artistically, this is really what made me kind of want to make this video. I was like, framing of a shot, landscaping of a background, animation of the characters, dialogue, just the beauty of it all. Cyberpunk really is one of the most beautiful games that I've ever played.
Got something.
Good job. Carol! We have a card! What now? You have to put it in the reader! Well, V? The card. In the reader?
Here goes nothing.
It worked! Come look!
Little engine that could.
V, I wanted to speak with you.
What did you want to talk about?
I know this may sound foolish, because I asked you to help me. But... why are you doing this?
'Cause it's important to you.
But... is that all? Sorry, that sounded worse than I intended. Listen, V, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this. Speaking of my feelings and so forth. And I would not want to cut this up.
Well, that's a start.
The thing is, I usually act before I think.
Uh-huh, noticed.
I know. But I also need impulses to act upon. When I do something spontaneously, I feel I'm being honest. Yet with you, I prefer to play it safe.
Why is it any different with me?
Because I truly care this time. Yet I fear I'll do or say something foolish and be left alone in the desert. I would rather keep you close. If only as a friend.
Try following the impulse next time.
Okay. Well, in any case, you've been warned. All right. Let's rejoin the others.
So yeah, that's a pretty fun scene there. I mean, then we have the campfire scene here. I'm just gonna talk over it because it kind of drags on for a long time. But I do like the animation. That's something that I was looking at with the characters and stuff. The animations when the characters are walking and going up stuff, and like the just pre-made animations and stuff are genuinely really good in this. But I mean, what makes a good game? I wanted to talk about this because I feel like people are going to think I'm absolutely insane, but like top 3 games, it's like, oh, you know, we got Cyberpunk, and it's like, oh yeah, super, you know, futuristic, theming wise, story, dialogue, you know, the way the game plays and looks. And then like my other, you know, top 3 is like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. So like, what makes a game good? I guess it's really personal, but for me, like, you know, my top 5 list is like Cyberpunk 2077 is up there, and it's competing with SpongeBob SquarePants. But I mean, that's just the way I see certain games, I guess. And SpongeBob obviously has some nostalgia there, of course, but I think nostalgia aside, man, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, underrated classic. That game is a gem. I'm just here to talk about that. Fuck Cyberpunk, man. SpongeBob where it's at. But for real, I've been having a lot of fun playing Cyberpunk again, to be honest with you. It's just been a blast playing through it again, experiencing the story one more time. The only thing that I wish was different is that I can just like forget Pan Am ever existed, so I can meet her for the first time again, because you like, you know, it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, you'll never be able to see this movie for the first time again. That's how I feel with Pan Am. I'll never be able to see Pan Am for the first time, because early on in the game, or earlier on when you first meet Rogue, Pan Am is actually there arguing with her, and she storms out of the afterlife as you're walking up to meet Rogue. And I don't know if I noticed that the first time I played the game, because Pan Am, you didn't know who she was. So like, I was like, oh my god, like that's Pan Am. Like, I noticed it now, but later on, you know, my second playthrough here, I remember playing that mission again, and I was just like, oh wait a minute, that's Pan Am. I'm like, I wonder if I even knew it was, you know, like, you didn't know it was her the first time I played, because I didn't know who Pan Am was. You know, I'd never seen that character. You probably thought it was like a random NPC, you know. So I guess that's another reason why it's great to replay games. And I feel like if a game is good, it will always be replayable, or you will always want to replay it again. I think that's another thing that gives a game replayability. I feel like a game that you only play once and never want to play it again isn't really that good of a game if you really don't want to play it. And you can make all the excuses, well, you can't ever, you know, experience it. It's all about experiencing it for the first time, depending on the game. But like, if a game is good, you'll play it again, even if you know exactly what you're going to do. Like, I know what happens in Cyberpunk. I know what dialogue I'm going to take for the most part. Some of it might be different than the first time, but again, like a game like SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, I replay that game like once a year because it's just fun. It's just an enjoyable game to play and have this, you know, play through the story of. I enjoy the story. I really like that. There was another game that was on my mind, and now it's just gone. It evaporated from my mind. I had a game on that I was going to say that I've played. Hitman is one of those games that I play again, although you could take the game, I guess that's like a different route. You could do things differently, but even in games where like you don't really take different paths and stuff, like linear games, you know, you could think of, for example, older Call of Duty games with their campaigns. Think Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Call of Duty World at War. You know, I easily replay those campaigns, you know, dozen plus times, just because they're enjoyable games, and it's what makes a game good. And I feel like we're losing some of that in our current gaming space nowadays, which is really upsetting, you know. I think a game like Borderlands 4, which I bring up because I own the game, because I paid for it and I bought it, and that's my money. I know some people are like, oh, I shouldn't have bought it, you know, whatever. Some of you, most of you watching probably haven't bought it, but that's one of my favorite series. And you could, you know, insert your own, any game that you have played recently that was underwhelming to you, and it's upsetting, you know, like Cyberpunk 2077, I remember getting it on launch, and I had minimal bugs and issues with the game. You know, I know some of my friends, you know, that I was playing with at the time on launch had bugs, but on launch I didn't really have any bugs and stuff, and it was still an enjoyable game. It wasn't soured by, you know, the performance. I was on, I think, an RTX 2070, and the game was relatively playable. That was kind of newer hardware at the time too, but I didn't have any problems playing the game. The performance wasn't unbearable for me, and it was an enjoyable experience. I enjoyed the game. I was able to play the game at a high enough graphical output while also having a decent FPS, and the story just pulled me in, and I enjoyed the first playthrough, and I enjoy my second. But, you know, a game like Borderlands 4, it's just, I played it and I didn't, like, my first playthrough was a little bit soured, to be honest. It doesn't help that the story was okay at that. It was very just mediocre. It was a mediocre story in my eyes, and it's upsetting. I would rather almost have had the story be bad, in air quotations, and some people might. It's funny because, you know, a lot of people shit on Borderlands 3's story. Weird that I'm bringing up Borderlands, but I think it's relevant to an extent, at least for my experiences with games that, you know, are considered good and bad. Borderlands 3, a lot of people dislike the story, but for me, it didn't get in the way of what was good about the game and what was enjoyable. It was, well, for one, another Borderlands game. We had not had a Borderlands game minus the pre-sequel for, God, 7 years at that point. You know, released in 2019, Borderlands 2 released in 2012, and my first playthrough was an enjoyable experience. I loved the game. I loved the first time I played it. I enjoyed the second time I played it. And every time after that, every time I played Borderlands 3, I've enjoyed it. And the story, to me, I don't even hate it that much. Like, I actually enjoy playing it. It's relatively fun. And Borderlands 4, I beat the story once, and I didn't want to do it again. Well, for one, because it kind of took forever. The first time I played it, it took me 40 hours my first playthrough. So that's another reason. But, it was just mediocre. Like, you know, it was so mediocre that I almost didn't care for it. And usually if something is bad, you know, at least if it's bad, you could kind of laugh at it and be like, this is so, you know, bad and cringe, ha ha ha. But, and I'm showing my settings right here in the background, so if you want to know what my graphical settings are, there they are. But I guess that's my problem with it, and I'm really upset about games going forward. You know, I guess I should really, I want to talk about this a little bit here before we get back into the gameplay, but you know, the enjoyment of games and just overall, I feel like we might be entering a slight dark age. I mean, maybe not. Borderlands 4 hopefully was a one-off, but I guess we'll see what happens with Grand Theft Auto 6, because not only does performance play a factor to an extent, but it's everything about the game. You know, like Cyberpunk, I was massively, you know, I don't want to say hated on launch, but I feel like it got way more hate than it should have, to an extent, at least comparable to now. Like, I know a lot of people had bugs and game-breaking stuff, but for one, I actually didn't have any bugs or game-breaking issues. I did have bugs on the second playthrough that I had, which is weird, but even still, I feel like deep down it was an enjoyable game, and I feel, I mean, there's plenty of, I was watching Video Game Donkey's video on Cyberpunk, and, you know, he talks about the bugs and glitches and all that, and he's like, but he talks about, like, what is good about it, and the story and the characters are good, and he talks about that. He's like, yeah, like, right, like, obviously it's a bit, it takes you out of it when you have really bad bugs and stuff. It takes you out of the moment and stuff, but at least there's an amazingly written story, I feel like, underneath that you can really latch on to, along with just kind of enjoyable gameplay overall. I like being able to build your character and all the different builds and stuff and the RPG elements. It's just overall an enjoyable game, but I also like looter shooters. As I said, I like Borderlands, so I guess looting in this game and shooting, who would have guessed that I like looting and shooting along in a game that also has really good dialogue and a really good story. So yeah, I've lost topic. I'm completely fried out of my mind right now, completely lost my train of thought, and I don't know what I'm going to say. Go Raiders.
The meaning of this?
Exactly what you see. The Basilisk.
All I see is 2 trucks with giant Militech logos on them. Fuck, Pan Am, you can see them from miles away! You think we don't have problems enough on our hands? The Raffens could rear their heads at any moment. And now we have Militech to worry about, too.
Stop it! Fuck! Just shut up already! Do you want to serve corporations forever? Fine, go right ahead. In that case, we'll leave the basilisk as a souvenir of what this family used to be. Or you know what? Maybe next time we're attacked, we'll be able to fight back!
As soon as I'm done with Biotechnica, we call a family meeting to discuss this. Discuss you.
Sorry guys, let me get in here.
Until that
Let me
time,
just get
I want these
really
trucks
cinematic
out of
shots
my
here.
sight.
Let me get
And
these
the
cinematic
basilisk?
shots.
Can we put it together?
Do what you want. Just get out of my sight.
Shit.
Bob, Mitch, you two take the trucks around back. We need to unload.
Let me get some cinematic shots here. Let me get a little bit of cinematic shot.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Cinematic shot. Don't worry, cinematic. Let me get low here.
Got quite a pair of lungs
Hey,
there.
Pan Am. Cinematic
Thanks.
shot.
I believe the last time
Sunlight
I pulled
in.
something like that, I was 10 years
Just
old.
cinematic.
Seem to still be in fine
Sorry.
working
Oh,
order.
whoops, you're moving the other way. My bad. Okay. Sorry, just try to get a low profile shot. You know what's weird? I don't know if anybody else has this problem. Like by now, so this is my second playthrough ever of the game, which some of you might be like, this is your second time. Well, my first playthrough has like 150 hours played on it. I just played the same playthrough consistently. You know, I beat the game and then I did the DLC on the one playthrough. I don't really like starting over on games like this, but
Want to see what you got in stock.
I have way less clothing
Only the
items.
baddest
Like, has
firearms
anybody
in all the
replayed the
bad
game?
lands.
Like,
Isn't that
like
why
the
you're back?
last time I started my first playthrough was on launch day, like the hour that it launched. Like I was there on launch, and like I felt like I was getting clothing all of the time, constantly. Back then, clothing did have actually stats on it. They removed stats from clothing, which I think is a million times better, to be honest. But it was also kind of fun. But yeah, like that was back when clothing had stats tied to it. But, you know, I would still dress up, but I feel like I have way less clothing. Like, all of this clothing I have is from, like, the beginning of the game, it feels like. And that's it. Like, I got, like, no clothing. Like, did they make it so, and like, people drop it less? Enemies drop less clothing? Like, that's what it feels like. It's, like, really lacking and found. Obviously, you could probably just buy clothing, but... What the fuck am I running into? Also, something I want to bring up. I have 3 of the stems or whatever you call them in this game, breathalyzers that heal you. 3 meds. Bottom left there. Back when I played this game for the first time on launch, I literally, like, remember getting to the point where I had 100 plus. Like, I genuinely had a metric shit ton of them. And now I have 3. And only one of the bounce backs. I had a metric shit ton of these. Like, a bazillion of them. I mean, it feels more like, I don't know.
You started it.
Oh my god, no. Okay. I think I can make it. Oh. Well. Okay.
Hey, what's your profanity?
What is happening? Let me get involved in this. Hold on. I got you. Let me join in. I kill both sides in this. What?
Oh shit, these hands. Sometimes seems like I just brush something and sparks fly. Anyway, a man. His name's Liam.
Okay.
Whispered phone calls in the bathroom.
Any specific?
My mom.
Why? Can cap.
Perfect. Remember,
Sure. Keep...
Good.